I'm just going to wait a couple minutes and see if any more people show up around 6 o'clock. But hello to everybody who's already tuning in. I kind of tested everything out a little bit ago. So if you got a message a while ago saying that I was live, it's just because I was trying to test it out. So who knows how this is going to go. I thought I could do it from my laptop, but I guess I should have done a little bit more research because there's ways to do it on your laptop, but I hadn't had the time to get into doing that yet. So I'm glad to have you all here. I'm doing my best to not get eaten up by mosquitoes. I've already sprayed myself once, so if you see me fidgeting about, that's because I'm getting eaten up by mosquitoes. It's just that little window of time right between, the sun going down and it getting dark, and it's time to get eat up in my backyard. And we use a spray that we make from essential oils, and the recipe's never perfect, but that's what we use to deal with the mosquitoes. And it's not perfect. I usually have to apply it probably 2 or 3 times because once you get a good layer, though, it keeps them away. So if you want to know, I usually always try to put citronella in it, maybe 15 or 20 drops of citronella in there. And this last time, I couldn't find the peppermint, but I used wintergreen, so probably about 10 drops of that too. And the bottle we use is about yay big. And yeah, so I use that, and sometimes I put lavender in it, and this time I put lemongrass in it. So hello, Princess Nelson. Hello in Florida. You guys have kind of got a similar planting schedule as us, so this could benefit you. And I've got a surprise today that I hadn't planned on having, that I happened to stumble upon when looking at growinginthegarden.com. So I've got a special treat for our planting guide to share with you this evening as well. So back to the bug spray, if you care to know. But I noticed that by adding the lemongrass to it, hey Abby, I noticed that really kind of gave it a fresher smell, and it kind of distracted me from the fact that I was trying to defend myself against the dango mosquitoes. So yeah, if you see me flinching and shuffling about, that's the battle that I'm waging right there, is against the mosquitoes. So it's just a couple minutes now till 6 o'clock. So I just want to give a couple people more chance to stop in with us. But I'm going to talk today about what we can plant in October here in the low desert. And we're going to talk about vegetables because that's what we always talk about. But today, as I mentioned a minute ago, the big surprise is that we're also going to talk about all the different flowers that you can plant right now. And I know that you might think, I'm into growing my own food, and that's exactly how my husband was when we first started gardening. But if you really want a lot of pollination to go on in your yard, it's a good idea to get some flowers going because flowers attract bees. Bees are pollinators. So it's a bigger help than you think to have some flowers in your yard. So if you're interested, after I chat about what we're going to have for our planting schedule in October for veggies, then you can stay tuned for a couple more minutes and learn what we're going to be able to plant in as far as flowers go. So here live, you have to watch me stumble through my words and thinking as I think with my brain running a million miles an hour. So you have to forgive me for that. All right, so let's see. It's 5:59. We'll just have one more minute, and then I'll pop up my little list of things that we can plant here. And as a reminder, if you don't have these planting calendars already, this is the one from Maricopa County. I can get you the link to this. They also have the one for flowers on there, which is a really extensive list. So remember that when I chat about what you can plant flower-wise, it's by no means the entire list. And next week, I'm going to talk about, on my video coming out on Monday, I'll talk about what herbs that you can plant this month. So I'll put a link to this down in the description. It won't be right there right now, but by the time this is over and done with, it will be. And another calendar that I've got that's real handy is the one from the Urban Farm. That was Greg Peterson that put on the the Great American Seed Up, him and his cohorts. So I usually take a look at what this calendar says to this calendar, and then I can kind of find a happy medium. And then we always have to bear in mind that, you know, every backyard or every yard has got its own microclimate, and so what might be going on really good in somebody's yard, they might get a lot more sun than you. So you kind of have to bear that in mind, and after you live in a place for a little while, you should get a better understanding of what will work and what doesn't work. One of the things that's on the list today, I actually specifically went over and checked that it was something that you could plant from seed, because traditionally at this time I don't think about that being something that you could plant from seed, and that's a good reason to have more than one calendar to look at. So it's 6:01, and if you're just tuning in, I want to thank you so much for stopping in. It's me, Jerry, and it's my first little live video, and today we're going to talk about what you can plant in October. So I've got here my handy dandy little sheet, and it's a pretty good lengthy list. And so right at the top we've got Swiss chard, and we've got beets and turnips, broccoli, kohlrabi, cauliflower, collard greens. I'm sorry if this is backwards for you guys. If so, I'll try to snap a picture and put it where you can see it a little bit better. But cauliflower, collard greens, Brussels sprouts, endive, and you can plant leeks through the 15th, it says. Then mustards, carrots, green onions, radishes. Now's the time in October to start putting your garlic out, and as well as your bulb onions. And for those of you that love peas, it's time to put peas out in the garden, so you can run out there and fresh pick those. You can also still put in some bok choy, lettuce, cabbage, celery, and kale. Now, if you're wondering what on the list I was double checking against the calendars, it's actually the broccoli and the cauliflower, because in the back of my head I thought that you really couldn't plant that except for in transplants at this time. But when I double checked the calendars, it occurred to me that yeah, you could plant for about to the 15th with seeds. I've got some transplants going on right now, but I'm gonna try it out. You know, that should give you another round of harvest there if you haven't already you know, got a second round harvest going for your broccoli. So that's something to consider. So this is an awesome list of things here, and like I said, I'll snap a picture of it so that you can, if it's showing up in the reverse for you, if you can't see it correct. I don't know how they make things work magically like that, but I'm not a magician, not today anyway. I'm a gardener. Okay, so as I said, we've also got a list of flowers, and I'll also take a good picture of this for you and make sure that you can see it. But at the top of the list, we've got African daisies, asters, Begonia, Calendula, Foxglove, Gaillardia, I might not be saying that one correctly, Geranium, Gazania, Hollyhock, Nasturtiums, Penstemon, Petunia, Phlox, Poppu, Coneflower, Ratibida, Rudebeckia, Ranunculus, I can't get that one at all. It's like Coreopius, Delphium, Dianthus, Flax, Larkspur, Lobelia, Lupine, Forget-me-not, Stock, Alyssum, sweet pea, not the kind of pea that you can eat, just a pretty kind of flower that's kind of a purplish leaf. Verbena, Salvia, Status, and Snapdragon. So that's basically the list of what you can plant in the low desert garden in October. So I hope that's helpful to you, and if you haven't gotten anything going yet, I definitely try to look for a sunny location. And if you're brand new to gardening, I definitely would recommend to start from transplants at this time. That way you've got a little bit more chance for success, because Lord knows I have struggled with seeds and getting seeds off. So it's work, you know, but if you're committed to growing food, you know, it's a task that you'll take up at one time or another. So I want to thank you again so much for joining me tonight for this live video about what you can plant in October. I want to thank all of you for taking the time whenever you have to view my videos and support me. It's such a strong sense of encouragement that you give to me, that you've been here with me through the last year, and I'm really grateful And I'm so inspired to continue to learn as much as I can about growing here in my backyard so that I can help you as much as you can. And I'm just totally excited. Pots, the ground is too rocky. Yeah, definitely use containers. I used buckets for my broccoli and cauliflower, and even some smaller buckets, because I've grown broccoli before in as small as a 3-gallon bucket. So yeah, there's no problem with using containers. Those Well, thanks, Dina. Thanks for coming around and stopping in and saying hello. Let me know sometime what you're growing, and if you've got some successes or some failures that you'd like to share with me. I don't know if I ever talk about it, but the main reason why I do this channel is I just really think that, and I might tear up a little bit, but I really just think that growing food is the bridge that is going to bind us across all communities. It's the need to eat food, and the ability to grow food is, I think, the thing that can connect all of us across all different diversities and all different origins of people. I think that being able to share information about growing food is going to be a really positive thing for all of us, and that's why I do it. So I'm going to close this up because I'm really getting eaten up by mosquitoes now, and dinner's almost ready. So I hope y'all have a good dinner, and thanks again for checking in.